So this is the magic script that has really accelerated the business, and so it's the second phone call I make to a person. The first phone call is me getting their criteria, if they have a realtor, if they have to sell, when they want to move by, and if they're financed. And then I get all that information, set them up, and they start getting the daily email. Well, my second phone call, it used to always just be, are you getting the listings, how you doing, yada yada, and there's real no game plan. Where now I'm getting intentional about setting them up and getting them in the car. So this is the second script calling that I do, and I'm calling them up, and I'll just role play and go through it. So I call up and say, hey Bob, I quickly wanted to check that you're receiving the listings I've been sending. And they say, yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, Bob, I feel I've only scratched the surface on properly assisting you. I know you're looking for 3 bedrooms in Oshawa, you need a garage, and you're looking for under 300,000, but I see a problem. In today's world, the internet has removed people being on the same page. Would you be offended if I asked a few questions to truly understand your thoughts on moving? I haven't had anybody say no, and I'm like, okay, great. Well, I'm curious, what would moving give you that you don't already have? Like, what feelings or ability would moving to Oshawa give you? Why are you moving here? And then they just open up and start telling me everything, and that's just pure gold. I know how to follow up with them. I no longer have people on a drip plan. I used to have them on just if you're an internet lead, you were on the same drip plan as all the other internet leads, getting the same messages like a canned thing. Well, I stopped doing that, and now I'm just following up based on these conversations. So, say Bob tells me that he wants to move closer because he's out of town and he's moving into Durham because his kids are in this area. And I'd be like, well, that's great, Bob. So you want to get closer to the kids. So when would it make sense for you to get in the car and start looking? And I just ask that question. Then they tell me. Whereas before, I just kind of always assumed that they'll just reach out to me and let me know when they're ready. But now I'm intentionally asking, when would it make sense for you to get out and look and hop in the car and start looking? If they don't go through this part of it, I have this backup part of my script, which is because my first phone call, I find out when they want to move by and all their criteria, and I'd be like, Bob, you said 3 months was your time frame. So knowing that, wouldn't it make sense for you to get out in the car and start looking at houses now, like next week? And these are the questions. So if he said the first time I called that he's looking at moving in 3 months, I'd be like, wow, that's sooner than you think. It can take a month or so to find the right house. Given that timeline, does it make sense to take a peek at a few houses next week? And if some people are like, oh, we're not moving till like summer or the school year or whatever, and then I'll just be like, well, when did you want to be moved by that date or start looking? And then I just kind of engage in the conversation. And then sometimes the first time I call a person, I can't get all the information. If I find out the second time I call that they're not looking to move until another year, I'll be like, well, I'm going to email you the new listings passively for about 3 months, because as you guys know, our TREB expires every 3 months. At that time, we'll reconnect, because the last thing we want is to mass email you listings and have you get overwhelmed in 12 months. I already know the end result. You say I'm not moving anymore. It can get overwhelming over time, I get that. So I'll give you a taste of what to expect when actually in the market. At the same time, I'll be listening to your needs as time goes on. Things change and communication is key. So that's a cool way to keep in touch with people over time that aren't necessarily looking. Because if they're not looking to move for a year and we start emailing them listings, I haven't seen a proven history like if you email people for over a year that the majority of them buy. It does happen, but I don't want to be wasting my time like that, so I'd rather follow up with people appropriately. So anyways, that's a walkthrough on this magic script, and I can't believe it. So talk to you later.